Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, call hello Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rakakwadash, and of course, double honors go out and well deserved to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. This is Nama of the DC camp. Also, salutations to other Akim out there pushing this truth throughout the four corners in sincerity and honesty. All right. As you can see on the screen here, this is from purewild.com. And it says racial gaslighting is real. And I know we've all experienced it at some point in our life. All right. It says, and for, this is not for the women. This is just in general. All right. And it is toxic. All right. I'm not going to, this is not for, women's issues or anything. This is just in general. All right. Because if you haven't noticed, this is further, a lot of these stories, and for the life of me, I have tried to search again. I had a video from Kevin Samuel's website. I think it was sometime last week, and I thought I had saved it, but I cannot find it as of this day. But the question was posed to this woman on his show as to what's more important, the black woman or the black family? And she did not hesitate. She said the black woman. And you wonder why we as a people, all right, aside, yes, we're under the curses, but my point being that a lot of the stuff that's being done to us would have been very hard to do had the so-called black woman stuck to her gun, so to speak, stayed her ground, instead of what the white man did. So how, well, played to her ego, more or less. And we know that's vast. All right. It goes back to the garden. All right. But in any case, let's get on with this. Yeah, I wish I got to find that video, because a lot of people, when I say this, they're not going to believe me. I want to have the evidence. She just, what's more important? Me, my progress, my feelings, or the black family? She said, fuck the family. In other words, it's all about me. Anyway, here we go. It says, we've seen gaslighting, and, let's get a definition of that so you won't be in the dark here. Gaslighting, this is done to us each and every day. All right, it's manipulation of one's reality, basically speaking, by, an enemy. You usually hear it in the context of when they talk about domestic violence issues. But anyway, gaslighting. All right. Here we go. What is gaslighting? This is from verywellmind.com. What is gaslighting? Gaslighting is a form of manipulation that often occurs in abusive relationships, which that describes us as a people, does it not? It is a covert type of emotional abuse where the bully or abuser misleads the target, Jake, creating a false narrative and making them question their judgments and reality. Ultimately, the victim of gaslighting, Jake, starts to feel unsure about their perceptions of the world and even wonder if they are losing their sanity, Jake, which matches up with the curses. How do you think? Well, let's go to it real quick. This is, as soon as it loads, Salaki. This is going to be Deuteronomy 28. I got to start at 1 because a lot of people, if you're just, coming into this, these are the curses. These are, in fact, you could also call this the Murphy's Law for the Israelites. All right, first 14 verses. All right, and it says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Most High Yahweh thy power, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Most High Yahweh thy power will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. That was the contract we agreed to, the covenant, all right, that we were bound by. This is what we told the Most High. Most High's name is Yahweh, all right, his son's name is Yahweh Shai. 2, and all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Most High Yahweh, thy power, not anybody else's, just Israel's. Okay, so if we were to do these things, if we were to diligently, all right, adhere, all right, and follow the law, statutes, commandments set forth by that contract, that covenant, everything will be all right. But, yep, you guessed it. Let's go on down to 15 to save time. But it shall come to pass, this is Moses speaking now, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Most High Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So now from 16 to 68 are all the curses. Remember what I said about Murphy's Law. All that can go wrong will go wrong. All right, so-called Murphy's Law. All right, cursed shalt thou be in the city, cursed shalt thou be in the field. No matter where you go, these curses are going to find you. All right. All right. The point I was trying to make, please, like I say, if you're just getting into this, this is a good chapter. This is not the only ones, but this is where the majority of them are concentrated. All right. And we're the only people that all of these affect. And in fact, it says in verse from 43 on down, it lets you know that, I believe it's verse 45, I'll get to it, that these curses shall be a sign. All right. Anyway, it says, hold on. Let's see. Yeah, let's start at 28. The Most High Yahweh shall smite thee with madness and blindness. That's not only talking about physical blindness, talking about spiritual as well. And astonishment of heart. And thou shalt grope at noonday as the blind gropeth in darkness. And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee. What do you think's involved in all of that? Not only the physical, we got to talk about the mental aspects of it. And this is what this gaslighting is all about. Oh, you're all right. You got all these, yeah, we throw this shit, civil rights shit up in your face. All right. Scroll on down. The other point I was trying to make, here it is, 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment. Damn, those niggers are fucked up. Look at them. All in the ghettos. Look at that rudder. What, got the pants sagging below your ass. All right, look. Now they're all faggots. All this shit. Even though they don't talk about the things being done to them that cause them to be this way. All right. Oh, they leave that. That's conveniently leave that out. All right. In his ways, 37. Now shall become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword. Nigger, coon, jigaboo, prairie nigger, porch monkey. Among all nations, whether the Most High Yahweh shall lead thee. All right. 43. The stranger, that is, in case for you've ever wondered, well, you people have been here for centuries, and this is the best you can do. You're just sorry or lazy. Nope. Again, the curses. Motherfuckers don't realize we built towns. We tried to be prosperous. I just read you the curses. What happened? Out of jealousy and envy, usually they use the excuse of Jake raping a cave bitch, and they burn them down, burn the cities down. Hell, burned up Jake, lynched, castrated them. All right, set up all kinds of laws, hence Jim Crow. And even before that, you had the black codes and all that. Everything to keep us down. And it's not just something to say, it's not a meme. These things actually happen. All right, but part of that psychological manipulation, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. What are you doing? You're just lazy. You have equal opportunity as anybody. No, we haven't. Again, gaslighting. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high. All these immigrants that come here, my people didn't have anything to do with slavery. And look at us. Gaslighting. And thou shalt come down very low. All your neighborhoods, you got immigrants. Not Jake. Jake was doing fine before so-called integration. Yes, that was a plot. You got to think, the whole deal with Jackie Robinson. Our people just want to celebrate it because you want to rub elbows with your oppressor. When the scripture said, envy not thine oppressor and follow none of his ways. And look where it's got us. All that was his name, Branch Rickey, the owner. That was to get our money. Because what? The Negro Leagues, they wanted that money. And this guy, Jackie Robinson, that's why his son flipped out so much and was constantly getting in trouble. Because he knew his father sold his people out. With his coon ass. 44, talking about the stranger. He says, he shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. 45, here's the point. Well, 46 is, but 45, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee. Remember I said about Murphy's Law, and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Most High Yahweh thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. Remember I read verses 1 and 2 of this chapter, and then I read you 15. As a consequence for not obeying the law, statutes, commandments, this is why we're in the situation we're in. 46, and here's the point. And they shall be, these curses, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So, let's go back to this gaslighting. We already read the definition of it, so you'll know what's going on. All right, and it says, and unfortunately, it's even more common than most people realize. For instance, if you've ever been accused of playing the race card or told to lighten up over a racist remark, then chances are you're experiencing racial gaslighting. But before we explore the term further, let's start with the basics. What is gaslighting? We've already established what that is, all right? 2, okay, so what is racial gaslighting? Michelle Rodriguez, all right, she's the Director of Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging, defines it as a form of emotional abuse, which we just read, but this is the racial aspect of it, that hinges on making a victim doubt their own sanity in reality as is particularly related to their race or the issue of racism. You might have Edom might come up to you, buddy, what's so bad about living in America? And you hear this enough times, and Jake will say, you know what? And you end up getting people like these motherfucking sellouts that join the Republican Party, you know, people like Larry Elder and them other motherfuckers, all right? Again, that's the extreme, but yeah, people like that, all right? It says, meanwhile, researchers Angelique M. Davis and Rose Ernst took this meaning a step further and conclude that the main purpose is to normalize white supremacy by manipulating those who seek to combat the issue, and it has worked to perfection. Because Jacob B., you know, think of what people laugh when we say this, but think about all the angst and righteous anger from the 50s and 60s with the movement. And they made fun of it in the movie I'm gonna get you, sucker. You know, the Wayans brothers. But it's true. What was it? The late what's his name? The original Link from the Mod Squad. Oh man, I can't believe oh, his wife was the original Oracle in the Matrix movies. Oh man, Clarence Williamson III. All right, yeah, he passed away not too long ago. But you know, it's like, damn, I lost my train of thought. Slacking. But in any case, this is what they do. But in that movie, now I remember what it was, and he played this activist type of individual that Keenan Williams went to visit because he wanted to talk about, you know, Mr. Big, and he goes in there and he's talking to him. You know, he's talking all this shit. You know, and guess who comes out the back? He done married. He got him a white wife. You know, and he, Keenan Ivory was like, you know what? But that's what happened. You know, this is the cause of it. You know. Salakia, sorry about that. I just bloop right out of the head. You know who that was. Anyway, it says, what are some examples of racial gaslighting? We've seen it play out on several occasions. For instance, there's the All Lives Matter movement, a weaponizing phrase that's meant to dismiss the issue of racism and make Black Lives Matter supporters question their stance. First and foremost, this is a Edomite movement. I got to record it somewhere. I got to find it on YouTube again. There is a black and white documentary from the 60s. And the Edomite there admitted they learned their lesson from what happened during the civil rights movements. You know, the exposure, the negative exposure from that was, you know, viewed worldwide. You know, the water hoses, the dogs sicked on our people, Bull Connors down in Montgomery, Alabama, Sheriff Bull Connor, and all the others. You know, Selma. That hurt them. So they learned their lesson. So now what happened? Many years later, they hijacked the movement as a means of control. And yet, we saw some cases where they tried to pay off people to start, well, they did, you know, but they were caught on video trying to cause people to do more damage. You know, there were pallets of bricks that were staged, all right, because they wanted to kick shit off, even worse than what happened. This is all done, you know, now they're talking about, it's weird because this latest incident in New York subway, conveniently so, what happened is, the report was there were no cameras, all right, and now you conveniently got footage of this guy, so that can only mean one thing, and stupid Americans are falling for it. That was staged. It was proven that they had a incident the night before, all right, where, what was it? Was it electrical lines or something that failed, and you had these explosions? I mean, it's so sloppy now. It's like, wow. But, and anyway, this is how they manipulate the public. Anyway, it says, then there's Piers Morgan's criticism of Meghan Markle after her tell-all Oprah interview. Not only did he publicly call her a liar and dismiss her experiences with racism, but also he accused her of causing damage to the British monarchy, suggesting that she is the problem and not the victim. So this is a common tactic, of the bully. You know, this is what these Edomites, these so-called white people, this is the history. All right, they have a MO, modus operandi, and this is part of that. All right. When it comes to everyday experiences, however, it can be tricky to recognize when you're being racially gaslit, especially when it's more subtle. Here are some concrete examples of what that might sound like. I'm sure it was just a joke. It's not that serious. You're overreacting. Are you sure that's what happened? I don't see color. Racism no longer exists. That sounds like reverse racism. Not everything is about race. What I said wasn't racist. I'm not racist, but stop playing the race card. This isn't an all-encompassing list, but as a general rule of thumb, if someone's comment makes you doubt the legitimacy of your own expectations with racism, you're probably experiencing racial gaslighting. 4. Why is racial gaslighting especially damaging? All right. Well, it goes into, again, I said I wasn't going to address the women, because I view that as a division tactic. All right. It says a big part, says do your research. A big part of what makes gaslighting so effective is the simple fact that victims aren't aware of when it's happening. But being able to recognize that you are not the problem is crucial to how you respond. And that's the point. They flip the script, all right? Fortunately, the internet provides more than enough resources to help you understand and recognize this behavior. From Psychology Today articles to research studies about racial gaslighting. Once you've done your homework and familiarize yourself with this tactic, you'll be better prepared to respond and regain control of the situation. Call them out on their toxic, racist behavior. All right. It says, well, it tells you how to deal with it. You can read that on your own. I don't want to take up too much more time on this. It's already explained. Document the evidence, blah, blah, blah. Talking about going to therapy and all that, blah, 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 blah. But just so you recognize what's going on. And, personally, I'd say don't feed into the bullshit. But at the same time, let them know that you recognize what they're doing. All right. And then as it says here in one of the last paragraphs, it said, then you won't be a target for them anymore. Once they back the fuck up. Oh, wait a minute. Because a lot of it is, you got to understand, these Edomites have a superiority complex. Actually, it's an inferiority complex when you really understand it. So they expect us all to be stupid, But in any case, that's all I have for this. But this also highlights the fact that all the shit this devil has done, and people are waking up now. More and more information is coming out. He's like that little Dutch boy, with the dam. He can't. There's so many holes in it. He doesn't have enough appendages to plug up the holes. All the information is coming out. So eventually, what's going to happen? They're going to have to shut down the net and I don't know what they're going to do. If it just comes back on, it's going to be suppressed to the point where it'd be hard to recognize it. All right, but damage is done. I mean, as others have stated before, it'd be a case that the elect are already sealed. So what's the point? But in any case, let's get some more scriptures here. This is something that this devil, he deserves everything he's getting and he's going to get. This is James 2:13. It says, for he shall have judgment without mercy that have showed no mercy, and mercy rejoices against judgment, because, as it says in Revelation 18, his sins have reached up to heaven. All right. That checklist, you can't, it'd be hard for us to imagine, Ecclesiastes 8:11, these things he thinks that he's, Psalms 50 and 21, he thinks that the Most High is with him. All right, but no. You got to understand, it's just like we are the Most High's children. We are, compared to the whole nation, is like a woman to the Lord. All right, this is Let's see. Uh, Let's see. This is Jeremiah 6 and 2. I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. All right. So when you go into the New Testament, when you go into Hebrews 12th chapter, remember I said about Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. They've gone on so long, which has allowed their pride to build up to a point where they think that they're on some kind of level. It says, let's see, where do I want to start? 6. It says, for whom the Most High loveth, he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receives. See, they don't look at it like this. They think because nothing's happened, and this should really worry you when you understand what's going on here. 7, if ye endure chastening, and who's getting chastened? His people. Because we are his children, like ye do with your children. And it's going to get into that. The Most High dealeth with you as with sons, for what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards, and not sons. And you can tie Zechariah 9 and 6 to them pieces of shit over there in our land. All right? They are bastards in the sense that they have no heavenly Father. All right? They are frauds also, which is another definition of bastard that you don't find too often. You have to go back in those old books. Verse 9, furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits and live? For they verily for a few days chasten us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit. Why? Because we're being tried. All the scriptures about being tried as silver or gold. It's going into purifying. It says that we might be partakers of his holiness. All right? So that's the thing. They don't look at it that way because they're not spiritual people. All right? They're carnal. They are the basis of men, these so-called white people. They're the real savages. All right? So with that, once again, this has been a video on racial gaslighting. All right? And how you are to recognize it and deal with it. All right? Hey, so with that, shalom.